Chapter 21 Gu Wenqing #039, S. Debon Western Restaurant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Gu Wenqing welcomed into the Huaxi Street property with such fanfare was like a slap in the face to everyone else. Holy cow. This kid really dropped 2 million on 10 storefronts. That's insane. For the average Joe at the milk tea shop, Du Zidong, the owner, was the epitome of success. Old Lu was someone they looked up to, but Gu Wenqing, who blew old Lu out of the water, instantly earned their all. So much dough at such a young age. Son, you're a real baller. All the girls in the milk tea shop were practically drooling over Gu Wenqing. He's the real-life version of a romance novel's alpha male. Those shades can't hide how gorgeous he is. Totally swoon-worthy, my heart is racing. Meanwhile, the guys in the milk tea shop were feeling the chill. Their girlfriends were giving Gu Wenqing the eye, making them feel like they were stuck in Antarctica. Wang Yanran was still trying to wrap her head around it all. She'd thought it was just one storefront before, but it turned out to be a whole damn row of 10, she was floored. Gu Wenqing had snatched up 10 of the 15 hottest properties on Huaxi Street. If the girls at school found out, they'd lose their minds and be all over him. Man, this freshman is something else. Can she even compete? Why are you standing there? Go collect the rent, Gu Wenqing said. Oh, right, Wang Yanran mumbled, still reeling, wondering how her classmate had gotten so ridiculously awesome. Dinner time rolled around, they were both starving. Gu Wenqing and his date strolled around and then headed straight for their Western restaurant. It was conveniently located right across from the only movie theater in the business district. While not quite as prime as his 10 storefronts, it was still a solid location. Debon Western Restaurant. 2 stories high, with over 8,000 square feet, it was the most popular spot in the Shanghai University area. Wow! You're amazing! You knew I loved this place. I mentioned it last time. It's fantastic, but so expensive. I only treat myself once a semester. Wang Yanran was ecstatic to be at the restaurant she'd been dreaming about. She clung to his arm, not even noticing how close she was pressed against him. Gu Wenqing was hit by a wave of sweet, girlish perfume. He suddenly felt a strong desire to take things further. That's over now. Come whenever you want. I can afford to feed you every day, Gu Wenqing said softly. Yeah, right. This place is always packed. If you don't make a reservation, you'll be waiting forever. Like 3 or 4 hours. No thanks, Wang Yanran said, unconvinced. Gu Wenqing grinned. Don't believe me? Let's make a bet. If you lose, you have to do whatever I say all day. Wang Yanran pursed her lips. And what if you lose? I won't. Come on, what if you do? If I lose, I'll buy you 100 meals at Debon. Wang Yanran giggled. Deal. Heh heh. This freshman is still too green. He's already lost and doesn't even know it. As soon as they stepped inside, the blast of air conditioning chased away the heat. Just as Gu Wenqing and Wang Yanran walked in, another couple followed. The girl spotted Wang Yanran. Hey, Wang Yanran. What a coincidence, you're here too. The girl's name was Zhu, and her boyfriend was Yang-Kun. Zhu also went to the Shanghai University's art department. Yang-Kun glanced at Gu Wenqing next to Wang Yanran and nodded. The three of them had history. Back in freshman year, Yang-Kun had chased Wang Yanran for a year before finally hooking up with Zhu. Her friends often teased her, saying she was second best and Wang Yanran's replacement. Zhu had always resented that. Hi, the restaurant is full right now. There's a wait for tables. The waiter said politely. Wang Yanran asked, how long? The waiter said, there are 35 tables ahead of you. About 3 hours. Wang Yanran said, ugh, that's forever. Let's go somewhere else. She was secretly thrilled. She'd won the bet. Meanwhile, hearing that Wang Yanran had a 3-hour wait, Zhu Yu's face lit up. She said to the waiter, I'm friends with your manager. Tell manager Zhu his cousin is here and ask him to get us a table right away. She threw Wang Yanran a smug look, implying that Wang Yanran could wait in line like a chump. While she was about to waltz right in, the waiter went to speak to manager Zhu. A few minutes later, another waiter appeared and ushered Zhu Yu and her boyfriend inside. Zhu Yu smirked. "You can wait, Wang Yanran. I'm going in to eat." She was enjoying this way too much. She was getting a table right away, no waiting, while Wang Yanran had to stand around. Wang Yanran had to be seething with envy. That's the power of connections. Gu Wenqing frowned behind his shades. How could such a great restaurant have such a moron as a manager? Openly cutting the line for his relatives. Just who did this manager Zhu think he was? As far as Gu Wenqing knew, no matter how packed the restaurant was, there was always a private room available. This private room was never booked, only one person had the right to use it, the boss, Gu Wenqing, and this manager Zhu was using it to entertain his family. "Hold on. Go get Zhu Wen for me," Gu Wenqing said, his voice icy. Zhu Yu bristled. "Don't you dare call my cousin by his first name. It's Manager Zhu." She continued, "My cousin is the manager of this fancy restaurant. He deserves respect." "Ha!" Gu Wenqing scoffed. "Respect him? He's nothing." Gu Wenqing took off his shades and mask, revealing his face. "Boss." The waiter was stunned. The guy in front of him was the owner, the one they never saw. He was instantly terrified. The restaurant was Gu Wenqing's exclusive property, courtesy of the system. Gu Wenqing was the legal owner, and all the staff had been programmed with the knowledge that Gu Wenqing was the boss. He had been the boss since day one, but he rarely showed his face. Chapter 22 Worth, million, just worship money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The waiter? Boss Gu Wenqing. No way, he looks like a college kid. How could he own a fancy restaurant? That doesn't make any sense. This is bad. Is he really the owner of Debon? Zhu Yu's voice trembled. When the waiter nodded, she deflated like a punctured balloon and crumpled to the ground. This is a disaster. She totally screwed over her cousin. Zhu Wen, having heard the boss was there, rushed out. Seeing his cousin sprawled on the floor, he knew the jig was up. The boss knew he'd been slacking off. Manager Zhu Wen shuffled up to Gu Wenqing, avoiding eye contact. "Boss, I messed up. It won't happen again, I swear." Zhu Wen was desperate to keep his job. Working at Debon wasn't just easy, but the pay was good too, 50K a year. More importantly, Zhu Wen loved the freedom. The boss was hardly ever around, so he was basically king of the castle. "Please, for all my hard work, give me another chance." Gu Wenqing scoffed, "Pack your stuff and get out." He'd already heard about Zhu Wen's late arrivals, early departures, and general laziness. Zhu Wen broke down, knowing he'd lost the job for good. He shot a hateful glare at his cousin. This was all her fault. He'd make her pay when they got home. Zhu realized she was responsible for her cousin getting fired, meaning she was in for a world of hurt from her parents. This whole charade had backfired big time. She suddenly envied Wang Yanran, landing a hot boyfriend with a killer career. Other customers in the waiting area looked on enviously as Gu Wenqing and Wang Yanran headed into the boss's private booth. The owner of Debon is so young. Seriously? A restaurant where the average tab is $70 a person. He must be raking in millions. Amazing. Financial freedom at that age. He looks like he just walked out of a movie. Successful career and a gorgeous girlfriend. Talk about hitting the jackpot. The waiting area buzzed with impressed murmurs. Everyone was insanely jealous of Gu Wenqing. Wang Yanran sat in the luxurious booth. She still couldn't wrap her head around the fact that her junior was the owner of Debon Western Restaurant. Debon had been open for 3 years. It was hard to believe her junior started this restaurant at 15. "So, did you really open this place when you were 15? Gu Wenqing shrugged. "Who said anything about opening it? I bought it." Wang Yanran frowned, feigning annoyance. "You're such a sneaky guy. You knew you owned Debon the whole time, and you tricked me into that bet." Gu Wenqing chuckled, already looking forward to his prize. "You didn't ask, and you lost fair and square. Don't forget our deal." Wang Yanran blushed. "Jerk. I'm going to eat you out of house and home tonight." The kitchen staff, hearing the boss was dining in, went all out to impress him. Soon, the table was groaning under the weight of the food: foie gras steak, Parisian lobster, red wine pheasant, roast turkey, orange roasted wild duck, American steak, and other classic Western dishes covered every inch of space. Each plate looked mouth-watering. There was also a bottle of wine that cost thousands. The meal must have cost over 30 grand. And there was no way they could finish it all. These were the dishes Wang Yanran had always wanted to try but couldn't afford. Of course Gu Wenqing was going to spoil her. After all, she was gorgeous and sweet. Gu Wenqing was loaded now, so he didn't mind spoiling the woman he was with. Gu Wenqing tasted everything. It lived up to its reputation, the best restaurant in the area. Gu Wenqing asked, "So, do you like it?" Wang Yanran, her cheeks full, replied, "Yeah, it's amazing. Eat as much as you want. Okay. I'll bring you here every week from now on. How's that sound?" Wang Yanran didn't look up. "Sounds good. I want to see those sexy stockings tonight." Okay. Great, deal. Wang Yanran snapped her head up. "Hold on. I was just eating. I didn't hear what you said." "No way, that's not happening." Gu Wenqing pulled Wang Yanran onto his lap. "You sure about that?" Wang Yanran's face burned. "No way. Breaking our deal? I'm going to have to punish you. Don't tickle me." Gu Wenqing felt refreshed, even though he hadn't gotten all the way there yet. He had her heart now. By the time they finished eating, it was 7 o'clock. Passing a store, Wang Yanran asked Gu Wenqing to wait outside while she went in to buy a few things. Finished shopping, they walked around Huaxi Street, hand in hand. The pair of them looked like a supermodel couple. Their good looks attracted attention from everyone. "I know people at school call me a gold digger, and I don't even try to deny it because they're right. I want a boyfriend who is rich. I've got plenty of rich guys chasing after me, but I didn't like any of them. Until I met you, my junior, I really like you. Everyone wants different things. I want a high-quality life, because I want to buy lots of nice things," Wang Yanran said. Finally, Wang Yanran asked, "Do you look down on me? Do you hate that I'm materialistic?" Gu Wenqing gazed at the stars in the sky. "No, life's too short to waste time feeling bad about what makes you happy. Why would I hate you for wanting money when I have so much of it?" Gu Wenqing said with a smile. "You could spend the rest of your life trying to spend all my money, and you'd still barely make a dent." Wang Yanran gave him a beautiful smile. "I'm not a spendthrift." Gu Wenqing hugged Wang Yanran, and they watched the night lights together. When he didn't have any money, Gu Wenqing hated those gold diggers. "Having $10 billion is amazing. Anyway, Dad has more than I could ever spend." He looked at Wang Yanran. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Damn," Wang Yanran said, her face flushed. "Company's here." Gu Wenqing lowered his hands a bit. Yep, Gu Wenqing couldn't hide his disappointment. Soon, he came up with a new plan. He stood up and pulled Wang Yanran toward the hotel. Unbeknownst to them, 2 girls spotted them. "Hey, isn't that Wang Yanran? She's going to a hotel with a guy." One of them quickly snapped a photo with her phone. They'd just come to Huaxi Street for dinner and stumbled upon her. They'd seen Wang Yanran that morning and recognized her clothes instantly. "So Wang Yanran's been caught?" One of the girls, who was pretty average looking, said. "She's been holding out for so long, trying to snag a rich husband, and now her scandal-free streak is over." "Who's the dude with her?" the other girl asked. "That's Gu Wenqing, a freshman. She even gave him water during military training." Everyone at school knew Wang Yanran was a gold digger, but that didn't stop countless rich kids and aspiring entrepreneurs from drooling over her. It wasn't just her looks, but the fact that she'd never been with anyone. She was like the ultimate prize, and guys with money to burn were desperate to be her first, but she hadn't even had a single date her entire freshman year. That's how she got the nickname Gold Digger Goddess. Gold Digger because she had high standards for a guy's wallet, and Goddess because, well, she was hot and untouched. Gu Wenqing walked into the hotel with his arm around her waist. The 2 girls couldn't help but feel envious. This was Gu Wenqing, the super-rich kid, good-looking, drives a multi-million-dollar sports car, license plate probably worth more than their apartments, and, of course, he was the boy in white that every girl dreamed about. They stared at his back, obsessed. and were insanely jealous of Wang Yanran. Inside the hotel, Wang Yanran came out of the bathroom, looking incredibly shy. The way she was dressed made Gu Wenqing's jaw drop. Her headlights were definitely on high beam. He was completely mesmerized. The mood was definitely right. Gu Wenqing finally got to see what she'd been shopping for, black stockings. He grinned. There was no way he was letting a girl this hot get away. Wang Yanran blushed even harder under his gaze. It was also the first time she'd dressed so provocatively in front of a guy. The attraction was magnetic. Gu Wenqing picked her up and carried her further into the room. She buried her face in his arms, shy as hell. Later, Wang Yanran frowned, looking exhausted. My arms are sore from holding this cup. You're such a jerk, she said, playfully smacking him with a pillow. Then, she clung to him like an octopus, curled up in his arms like a kitten. She fell asleep. While all that was happening, the system chimed in. Ding. New title unlocked, kill chickens to scare monkeys. Reward, Porsche Cayenne, congratulations. You've unlocked the skill, Voice of Nature. Voice of Nature, enhances your singing, corrects any flat notes, and gives you the voice of a pro singer. Soon, Gu Wenqing drifted off too. The next morning, he drove his Ferrari straight to school. He arrived in a little over 10 minutes. Gu Wenqing parked the car. It was early, so there were tons of freshmen doing military training and other students heading to class. When they saw the Ferrari Rafa and the outrageous Shanghai A11111 license plate, they knew Gu Wenqing had arrived. He was the talk of the town at Shanghai University, the center of everyone's attention, and not just because of his bravery, but because he was a total legend. The Ferrari's butterfly doors opened, and a gorgeous couple stepped out. When they saw the girl's face, the guys around went nuts. Holy sh*T. No way. Yanran, one of the campus hotties, actually got out of Gu Wenqing's car. They hooked up last night. She gave it up. Every guy's heart sank. The gold digger goddess had been conquered so quickly. Wang Yanran, one of the 4 great goddesses of Shanghai Metropolis University, was officially off the market. All the guys glared at Gu Wenqing with jealousy. Someone had already posted a picture on the school forum of Gu Wenqing and Wang Yanran at the hotel. In the photo, he was holding her close, and she was leaning into him like she belonged there. The photo, combined with them getting out of the car together, confirmed it. She totally gave it up. Tons of rich guys had been chasing her for over a year, only for her to fall into his arms, and it had only been 3 days since school started. In 3 days, he'd won the girl of their dreams. The guys were crushed. Wang Yanran didn't care what people thought. She'd always been straightforward and honest. She'd already put out so frankly. Was she going to care about gossip now? I'm gonna go catch up on some sleep, and you should head to military training, that she said to Gu Wenqing and then left. Old Gu, did you really spend the night with Wang Yanran? Huang Zicheng asked. Zhou Tao and Chen Xiaohua were dying to know too. Yep, Gu Wenqing said. Damn. So she really did it with you? You scored with Yanran right out of the gate. I'm so jealous. His roommates were jealous as hell. They hadn't even held a girl's hand, and he'd already taken her virginity. The gap was unbelievable. Once they calmed down, Gu Wenqing added, we got 2 rooms, 1 for each of us. Why didn't you say that earlier? They replied, he'd had them jealous for nothing. They chatted for a while, then headed to the field together. When it came to women, you didn't have to share every detail, let them guess. Chapter 24. Chen Xiaohua brought water to others. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sun beat down, radiating heat. The air felt thick and heavy, and the freshmen in military training were already sweating through their clothes. After just 2 days, everyone had learned to come prepared, bringing their own water bottles for the short breaks they got. Unlike Gu Wenqing, who had a couple of upperclassmen taking turns bringing him sparkling water and milk tea, half the guys on the field were glaring at Gu Wenqing. Heard Gu Wenqing hooked up with that Xihua girl last night? Pics are all over the campus website. Man, those grabby hands in the photos make my blood boil. Now that Wenqing's officially with that hottie Chen Xiaohua won't be bringing him water anymore, right? Pfft, no way. Chen Xiaohua was the queen bee in high school, no way she'd be a simp. Yeah, no way she'd be a homewrecker either. Speaking of, Chen Xiaohua is seriously hot. The new students felt a mix of heartbreak and relief, heartbreak because the campus goddess had become Gu Wenqing's girlfriend, relief, because after Gu Wenqing's fling with Xihua, Chen Xiaohua probably wouldn't be interested in him anymore, right? Feeling all those eyes on him, Gu Wenqing frowned. Did Wang Yanran really have that much clout at this university? They just got out of a car together, why was everyone making such a big deal about it? Besides, it wasn't as serious as everyone seemed to think. Sure, Gu Wenqing wanted it to be, but Wang Yanran was actually on her period. During the break, after baking in the sun, everyone was parched. They grabbed their water bottles and started chugging. Gulp, gulp, Everyone felt a lot better. Gu Wenqing was thirsty too, but he'd come straight from his Ferrari to training, without any water. Buying water wasn't an option, you couldn't just run off the field during the break. Gu Wenqing had no choice but to ask his 3 roommates, anyone got extra water? Zhou Tao shook his empty bottle. Sorry, man, we already drained ours. Damn. Hearing that, Gu Wenqing felt his mouth get even drier. Seeing that Gu Wenqing was out of luck, some of the guys on the field grinned. Huh, look who's thirsty now. Seeing him without water finally makes things fair. Serves him right, the jerk. He probably thought a goddess would magically appear with a drink. Awesome, Chen Xiaohua's finally seeing him for the player he is. Seeing Gu Wenqing's misery, everyone was secretly thrilled. 2 days ago, he had 2 goddesses bringing him water. A college goddess and a high school goddess, both total knockout girls, handing water to Gu Wenqing. Everyone else was green with envy. He was showing off. Seeing Gu Wenqing struggling without water, everyone was loving it. Tons of girls wanted to bring Gu Wenqing water, but the idea of competing with those 2 goddesses was intimidating. They didn't have that kind of beauty. Still, many girls wondered if they should bring Gu Wenqing some water. Who could stand seeing a hot guy suffer? Just when the guys were enjoying Gu Wenqing's discomfort, a quiet voice piped up from the field. Don't you have any? Here, drink my water. That the girl who spoke was wearing a camouflage uniform. Her white sneakers were a little worn, but clearly clean. She had on thick glasses, and her dark hair hid most of her face. Yun Weiwei nervously offered Gu Wenqing her water bottle. Gu Wenqing looked at the dented metal canteen. It had obviously been well used. That's the girl who's always alone. Gu Wenqing recognized her immediately. Yun Weiwei saw that Gu Wenqing wasn't taking the water bottle. She lowered her head even further. Rejected again. Yun Weiwei's voice was barely a whisper. It's boiled water from the cafeteria. It's clean. Still. He's so rich, he probably wouldn't deign to drink cheap cafeteria water. Suddenly, Gu Wenqing snatched the bottle. Gulp, gulp, Gu Wenqing drained the whole thing. Gu Wenqing grinned. Thanks a ton. I'd never look down on you. Yun Weiwei sighed in relief, clutching the empty canteen. A breeze picked up, it lifted Yun Weiwei's hair, revealing a glimpse of a surprisingly pretty face. Gu Wenqing was stunned. Who would have guessed that the girl who always kept her head down had the looks of a Chen Xiaohua or a Wang Yanran? Startled by Gu Wenqing's gaze, Yun Weiwei quickly lowered her head and scurried away. Gu Wenqing savored the aftertaste, while the guys on the field were fuming. Damn, someone brought him water. That girl's got a huge heart. Crap, I was hoping to see Gu Wenqing suffer. There goes my good mood. At least it wasn't Chen Xiaohua bringing him water. No way, Chen Xiaohua would never. Right then, a gorgeous figure appeared at the edge of the field. Chen Xiaohua had ditched her usual schoolgirl look. Today, she was wearing a tight tank top and a light gray skirt. Her long, toned legs, encased in black stockings, showed off her flawless skin. She was beautiful and had a killer figure. The breeze tousled Chen Xiaohua's hair, making her look like she'd stepped out of an anime. Instead of milk tea, Chen Xiaohua was carrying sparkling water. The bottle, fresh from the fridge, was still covered in condensation. Chen Xiaohua's here again. Is she bringing Gu Wenqing water again? No way. She's definitely not going back to that scumbag. She gave Gu Wenqing milk tea the other day. What does replacing it with sparkling water mean? It means Chen Xiaohua's picked someone new to give water to. Bro, you're right. With that analysis, everyone agreed. The switch from milk tea to sparkling water meant Chen Xiaohua had changed recipients. The school belle must have found out about Gu Wenqing and that upperclassman and been disappointed. So, she'd moved on to someone new. The guys watched Chen Xiaohua, all thinking the same thing, I wish she was bringing me water. Chen Xiaohua, perfectly styled, was stunning, and the guys were captivated. Step 2. Chen Xiaohua walked right up to Gu Wenqing's group. The guy's heart skipped a beat. Chen Xiaohua looked around and spotted the best-looking guy in the crowd. Gu Wenqing happened to be looking right at her. Their eyes met. Chen Xiaohua didn't flinch. She looked away. Then, Chen Xiaohua walked up to Gu Wenqing and handed him the sparkling water. At that moment, every guy on the field seemed to hear the sound of his own heart breaking. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I heard you like sparkling water, so I got you some. Chen Xiaohua walked up to Gu Wenqing and handed him the bottle. Thanks, he said, taking it from her. He wasn't thirsty, having just had a lot to drink, but seeing the expectant look in Chen Xiaohua's eyes, he popped open the cap and took a sip. Seeing him drink the water she'd given him, Chen Xiaohua smiled, a genuinely satisfied smile, and that smile set off a bomb with all the guys watching. I can't believe it. She's all over Gu Wenqing again. Chen Xiaohua's delusional. Doesn't she know he has a girlfriend? Why is Chen Xiaohua so hung up on Gu Wenqing? I was just laughing at him, and then Chen Xiaohua shows up, delivering him water. Everyone was buzzing about it. They couldn't understand why Chen Xiaohua was so into Gu Wenqing. Sure, he was handsome and rich, but he already had an older woman. Why couldn't she just let it go? What they didn't know was that Chen Xiaohua was one of the girls Gu Wenqing had bravely saved. The surveillance footage was too blurry to make out her face, plus, the school never announced who the rescued girl was, so no one knew about the connection between Gu Wenqing and Chen Xiaohua. The two walked towards the shade, one after the other. Gu Wenqing spoke up, you don't need to bring me water every day. I would have helped anyone who was getting beaten up that day. Chen Xiaohua's tone was icy. I know. I gave it to you whether you like it or not. Gu Wenqing was speechless. She really lived up to her reputation as the ice queen of high school. Every word, every action, was pure arrogance. Fine, Gu Wenqing said. I'll drink it. As long as you give it to me. Let her bring it. It wasn't like it was affecting him. With an attitude like that, whoever married her would be lugging an iceberg home, saving on AC bills in the summer. Ding, the host has unlocked a new title. Outstanding among chickens. Reward, 10 shares of Huafeng Real Estate. Reward, 1 billion Douyin de coins. After getting back to the dorm from military training, Gu Wenqing checked the system. The reward for this new title was ridiculous. Even Douyin virtual currency counted as a reward now. Was the system starting to slack off? Still, the reward sounded impressive. Huafeng Real Estate. Everyone knew real estate companies had a high market value. Even just 10 shares had to be worth over $1 billion. Gu Wenqing opened his browser and looked up Huafeng Real Estate. Founded in 1996, Huafeng Real Estate had grown up in Shanghai, and its scale remained limited to the city. Its business covered real estate development, commercial operations, rental housing, smart services, house rentals and sales, and interior design. As of 2022, Huafeng Real Estate was valued at 800 billion, and it had acquired 7 plots of land around Shanghai with great development potential. The land itself was worth 400 billion yuan, while the national real estate market was collapsing under hundreds of billions in bank loans. Huafeng Real Estate had more cash on hand than liabilities. That was because Huafeng Real Estate hadn't expanded too aggressively, acquiring land all over the country. It had stayed local, working hard in Shanghai. The market value is 800 billion, so 10% of the shares is 80 billion, Gu Wenqing thought. Today, he'd made 80 billion. Life as a cheat was definitely exciting. Just then, his phone rang. It was about interviewing for the manager position at Debon Western Restaurant. Gu Wenqing drove to Huaxi Street. After parking in the garage and walking into the restaurant, he could immediately sense the more positive atmosphere compared to yesterday. The applicant was a man in his 30s, he claimed to have worked as a manager at a star hotel. Seeing how young the owner of the restaurant was, he was visibly condescending. "Mr. Gu, don't worry. I used to be a manager at a star hotel. Managing this place will be a piece of cake." Gu Wenqing frowned, listening to the man ramble on. He couldn't take it anymore and cut him off. "Thank you, but our temple is too small to hold a big shot like you." The man was stunned. He was a former hotel executive, and he was willing to lower himself to work at this little Western restaurant. He thought the owner would be thrilled, he thought he had the job in the bag, but he'd been rejected on the spot. Gu Wenqing walked out of the restaurant in a foul mood. What was with that corporate executive? Didn't he understand basic humility? Bragging about his skills and looking down on the restaurant? The heck with that guy. Someone with big eyes and no skill. He'd rather hire someone without much management experience but who was down to earth. The restaurant wasn't big, and he didn't need a senior executive anyway. Gu Wenqing left the garage. He saw a female live streamer in revealing clothes, broadcasting next to a Ferrari LaFerrari. "Viewers, this is the flagship supercar from Ferrari. Only 499 were made, and it costs tens of millions," Yuan said, adjusting her phone camera to focus on the LaFerrari. Yuan glanced at the screen and continued. "As your favorite girl, I ran into this rare Ferrari LaFerrari today. I'm going to be a guest car expert for today's show. This Ferrari LaFerrari has a 6.3-liter V12 naturally aspirated engine that puts out 588 kilowatts. The electric motor independently outputs 120 kilowatts, giving the LaFerrari a combined output of 708 kilowatts. That powerful engine will leave everyone in the dust. Those taillights will be the only thing you see." After the explanation, Yuan looked at the supercar worth tens of millions and joked. "Guys, you need to work hard and drive a Ferrari someday. This girl might just say yes." Yuan was a small-time Douyin streamer, not popular at all. Her monthly income barely covered her living expenses in Shanghai. She didn't have any big spenders in her chat. No matter how pretty the streamer was, it was hard to get famous. In this era of everyone live streaming, nobody was going to watch you if you weren't famous. Yuan had a chance to catch a break before. There was a big spender in her chat who paid her $10 a day. Yuan was thrilled. Her hard work was finally paying off. Then the guy sent her a WeChat invite, along with a location and a hotel room number. Yuan was disgusted and immediately blocked him. He wasn't going to let it go after spending the money. He started spreading rumors that Yuan had promised to sleep with him, which was why he spent so much. After a few days of drama, Yuan finally paid him back the $10, and the rumors died down. After the platform took its cut, Yuan only got $5 from the gift. She scraped together the other $5. She'd worked hard, didn't do anything wrong, and lost $5. That was like 3 months of her streaming salary. That day, Yuan cried her eyes out. Chapter 26 Audience, Young People Pretend Too Bluntly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Douyin live stream and is the cutest, has over 1,000 viewers. No way. If I actually owned a Ferrari, I'd gift the streamer $10. I'm so into this streamer, I wanna wife her up. Ferrari Lafayette explosion. I ain't here for your face, point the camera at the Ferrari. This little streamer is such a joke. What's the deal with being a streamer and still turning down my brother's offer for a hookup? Quit playing hard to get. That the comments are a mix of love and hate. Ever since Yuan refused that dude's invitation to hang out, her gifts have been drying up. Those big spenders who used to shower her with virtual gifts, hoping for something in return, have vanished. Now they troll her in the chat instead. Some viewers who genuinely like Yuan are getting fed up with the negativity. Protect our girl. Anan isn't some gold digger who sleeps around for cash. Bro, Anan's been losing the whales lately. Everyone toss her some gifts. For a minute, her loyal fans go wild with the gift giving. Thanks, Mosquito Bro, for the 66 lollipops. Shout out to The Cat is Naughty for the 10 comparison gifts. Appreciate the 66 beers from Safe at Home. Thanks to I Heartenin for the 2 hot air balloons. Yuanin thanks everyone in her sweet voice, but even with the smile, she's close to tears. Out of all those gifts, the 2 hot air balloons from I Heartenin are the most valuable. Each hot air balloon is worth about 50 cents, so that's $1. Yuanin feels helpless. She's barely making $40 a day in gifts. She's lucky to have $20 in her pocket. This monthly income of a few $100 doesn't even cover rent, not to mention food and paying off thousands in debt. Gu Wenqing stands back, waiting for Yuanin to show off the Ferrari on her stream. Seeing she's not moving, he walks towards the car himself. Back in the NN is the cutest live stream. The comments are flying. Who's that dude behind the streamer? Hold up, he's heading for NN. Is that her boyfriend? No way, NN's got a secret boyfriend. Figures, that's why she rejected my brother, she found some scrub. This streamer is shameless. Dumb streamer, young people are so clueless about making money. Yuanin glances at the chat, ignores the haters, and turns around, curious. She sees a guy in a white shirt, black slacks, and white sneakers walking toward her. Even with the sunglasses and mask, she can tell he's good-looking. The youthful vibe and those long legs make him a total package. He's probably here to hit on me. Yuanin thinks. Her face flushes at the thought. Should she give him her WeChat or not? It's not that she's conceited, but guys are always trying to talk to her and get her number when she's out. As Yuanin debates with herself, Gu Wenqing gets in front of her and says, "Excuse me, could you move? I'm in a hurry." Yuanin is speechless. She's suddenly disappointed that he's even talking to her. And a little offended. The garage is huge. Who is she blocking? In a soft, clear voice, Yuanin says, "The garage is big, why don't you go around? I'll get out of your way." Now that it's clear he's not Yuanin's secret boyfriend, the chat explodes. Is this guy for real? Seriously? In this huge garage, he has to say NN is in his way. He's just trying to get her attention. Textbook pickup line attempt. NN might have met a creep. Gu Wenqing is exasperated. "Ma'am, you're standing in front of my car, blocking me from driving." The viewers in the chat are going crazy, the comments full of mockery. "Oh, so subtle. Kid, I'm giving you the award for lamest flex of the year. -100 points, just for how fake this is. Quit dreaming, buddy, get back to the factory floor, your inflatable doll is waiting for you." This dude is awesome. He's making up stories on the fly just to impress NN. Not only does the chat not believe him, Yuanin doesn't believe this tall guy owns a Ferrari. He has such a young, preppy vibe. How could he drive a Ferrari? He doesn't have that arrogant, rich kid attitude. Maybe he's just trying to get her attention. That's it. Yuanin gently brushes her bangs and sighs to herself. I'm handsome enough to attract anyone. Why use such a lame pickup line? Seeing Yuanin still dazed, Gu Wenqing simply takes out his car key and hits the unlock button. The Ferrari's lights flash on, lighting up the whole garage. Whoa. Everyone is stunned. What did they just see? The guy took out the car keys, and the Ferrari unlocked. OMG, he wasn't lying, the Ferrari really is his. They were just roasting him, and now he's put them in their place. Yuanin's livestream jumps to over 3,000 viewers and the comments are flying. WTF. I can't believe my eyes. Holy crap, dude. Face plant on the spot. OMG, this streamer just landed a baller. That's awesome, driving a multi-million-dollar sports car must feel so good. Damn, I'm jealous. He's definitely from old money. His family's net worth is probably $1 billion. The viewers are spamming the chat, everyone is in shock, they were just trashing a rich dude driving a Ferrari. Good thing he can't read their comments. The moment Gu Wenqing pressed the car key, the online audience and streamer Yuanin are completely shook. Chapter 27. For the sake of G-level softness, I have pity on the little anchor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yuanin was flustered, her words tumbling out in a rush. Is this Ferrari really yours? The words were barely out of her mouth before she regretted them. Idiot. She mentally berated herself. He just unlocked the freaking thing, but she couldn't help it. She was just so shocked. This hot young guy, driving a car worth a fortune. She felt a little out of her depth around Shenhao. Gu Wenqing, hearing her question, thought the cute girl anchor was kind of adorable, in a dorky way. If it's not, sue me. You're live streaming on Douyin, right? He asked, glancing at her phone screen. Her handle was, Anen is the cutest. He couldn't help but look her up and down, *wow, she's really leaning into the anime thing, star dressed in a black and white maid outfit, with a baby face and massive G-cups, easy, the white thigh-highs ended just above her knees, and her heels made her look taller, sexier, cute features, huge eyes, pink hair, she was the real deal. Gu Wenqing took another appreciative look at the supersized G-cups. Damn, she's cute. Yeah. Yuan replied. Do you use Douyin much? Watch streams. Now and then. Gu Wenqing searched for, Anen is the cutest, on his phone and saw over 3,000 viewers. Gotta grind if you wanna be a big-time influencer with 100,000 viewers, he said. He gave her a follow, thinking about those G-cups. Yuan huffed. Humph, I'll get there. Gu Wenqing glanced at the comments. Begging the camera to point at Shenhao. Let me get a good look. Anchor, are you clueless? Get on your knees for Shenhao. Yeah, lick that dude's boots. He's so rich, whatever falls out of his pockets is more than you make in months. It's over, she's gonna run off with him. Bull. Anen isn't like that, is she? Anen's a good girl, she'd never do that. Gu Wenqing checked the gift list. Her earnings for the day were only around 100 yuan. All in, she'd made less than 200 yuan that day. That's rough. A face like that, and those assets, she should be raking it in. Gu Wenqing said, girl, you're underperforming. At this rate, the world's gonna end before you go viral. Yuan blinked. She said sadly, it wasn't always like this. I rejected some guy's gross requests, and now I'm paying for it. The comments section exploded. Ah, poor Anen. Don't worry, Anen. I'll eat ramen for a month and donate the other $2,500. What a simp. Good for you, Anen, for not selling out. Huh, look at this faker playing the victim. Seriously, who believes the pure act anymore? Quit pretending to be pathetic in front of Shenhao. Damn it. You got the looks and the goods, but you won't give me the time of day. Why should I give you money? Gu Wenqing understood the situation. Some whale subscriber wanted to sleep with her, she refused, and he stopped donating. He just wanted her for her body, and she wasn't playing ball. No wonder people weren't donating. It was the first time Gu Wenqing had seen a full-time streamer doing so badly. The big influencers were pulling in millions a day. Then there was Yuan, struggling to make rent. What a screwed-up world. Yuan was dying of thirst. Metaphorically speaking, Gu Wenqing had unlocked the chick magnet title yesterday and got 1 billion Douyin coins. The coins couldn't be exchanged for real money. To him, they were worthless. Alright, for the sake of those G-cups, I'll toss you some love, he thought, eyeing her bust. He was going to tip her big time. He'd never given a gift before. He opened the interface and started searching. He found the most expensive gift, Supreme Salute. Supreme Salute, 66,666 coins, equal to 66,666 yuan, about 10 grand. At that moment, a wave of smaller gifts trickled into the stream. Yuan, watching the screen, chirped. Thanks, Aimei, for the 66 beers. Thanks, the cat is not good, for the 66 hearts. Thanks, I have money, for the 20 tiny clouds. Thanks, like Xiaohua, for the 2 hot air balloons. Her cute voice echoed through the garage as she managed to pull in around 250 yuan. It was her best day in a while. Since turning down her sugar daddy, this was the highest number she'd seen on her gift list. Suddenly, her eyes were assaulted by a burst of special effects. The light from the effect almost filled the screen. The more expensive the gift, the cooler the visual effect. This was the Supreme Salute effect. One cost 66,666 yuan. The last time she got a Supreme Salute was when her sugar daddy wanted to book a hotel room. At her current rate, it would take her 20 days of streaming to earn the equivalent of a single, Supreme Salute. Her screen was going nuts. The awesome visual effects filled the whole screen. Supreme Salute, notifications kept rolling in, the 1st, the 5th, the 10th, the 60th, Yuan felt lightheaded, then a rush of excitement flooded her. Holy crap, I'm gonna make it, the most affectionate in the city sends the cutest anchor and in a Supreme Salute X1, the most affectionate in the city sends the cutest anchor and in a Supreme Salute X10, the most affectionate in the city sends the cutest anchor and in a Supreme Salute X20. Chapter 28 over 9 million balance, elder brother, I #039, am afraid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. City's most affectionate showers in an, our cutest streamer, with Supreme Salutes. X40, City's most affectionate showers in an, our cutest streamer, with Supreme Salutes. X66, City's most affectionate showers in an, our cutest streamer, with Supreme Salutes. X100, 100 Supreme Salutes in a row didn't just blow up in Anne's live stream, it was like an atomic bomb going off on the entire Douyin platform. For every Douyin user online, a banner flashed across the top of their screen. Shanghai's city's most affectionate just gifted 100 Supreme Salutes to An, our cutest streamer. Everyone, get in here and grab those lucky boxes. Shanghai's city's most affectionate just gifted 100 Supreme Salutes to An, our cutest streamer. Everyone, get in here and grab those lucky boxes. Shanghai's city's most affectionate just gifted 100 Supreme Salutes to An, our cutest streamer. Everyone, get in here and grab those lucky boxes. 3 golden banners floated on every screen. This was a full 100 Supreme Salutes. Douyin even gave this big spender, city's most affectionate, from Shanghai, all the spotlight he could want. Everyone was floored. What were they seeing? Each Supreme Salute was worth 66,666 renminbi. Supreme Salutes weren't exactly rare, people gifted them to streamers all the time, but 100 of them? That was practically unheard of since Douyin even launched. Of course everyone was blown away. 100 Supreme Salutes, that's over 600,000 renminbi in cold, hard cash. That's more money than many people would save up in their entire lives. You could buy a house in a small town with that kind of money, you could drive off the lot in a brand new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Douyin streamers were going nuts, wishing they were the ones getting showered with that kind of cash. I ain't got no education, but I know bullshit when I see it. 600 grand. Why wouldn't you spend it? This is big spender territory. We wouldn't understand. 100,000 is a mouthful to say, but I bet it's easy money for this guy. I'm green with envy, I'm telling you. Boss, you're the man. Long live city's most affectionate. Everyone went wild, flooding into Yuan Anne's live stream. The audience count jumped from 3,000 to over 50,000. 50,000 plus was solid second-tier streamer territory on Douyin. Yuan looked at the numbers in her live stream, and it felt like a dream. She quickly said, "Thank you, Shanghai's city's most affectionate, for those 100 Supreme Salutes." She continued, "You're so generous, so powerful, the biggest baller ever." The chat in the live stream went supernova. Holy crap. And Anne's made it. That's insane. She just pulled in 300 grand like it was nothing. Gotta say, seeing that banner, she's definitely got the looks to justify that kind of money. Is city's most affectionate from Shanghai still here? I can't possibly pay you back for that much. But how about I sing you a song? Or maybe a little dance? Yuan asked sweetly, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice." Ever since she'd gotten burned after a big donation before, Yuan was both thrilled and nervous about big spenders. What if this guy started making inappropriate requests? How could she politely turn him down? So, she tentatively offered to sing or dance to show her appreciation for the 600 grand, even as she said it, she was blushing with embarrassment. The chat was blowing up. Simp alert. Send the money, run for the hills. Hearing that, Wenqing was speechless. No need for all that. Just here to drop some gifts. My fingers are getting tired. Huh? Yuanan looked completely lost, her voice trembling. Yuanan asked, your city's most affectionate.Gu Wenqing replied, who else? Come here and help me tap the screen. I don't need the dough coins anyway. Yuanan walked over obediently. Okay. She accidentally pointed the camera at Gu Wenqing's Douyin account. And a string of numbers. Dough coins, 999, 333, 340, Yuanan was stunned, and not just her, but the 50,000 plus viewers were in shock. What were they seeing? Oh my god. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. The city's most affectionate account in Shanghai had hundreds of millions of dough coins, over 999 million dough coins. City's most affectionate in Shanghai just spent 666,660 coins on those 100 supreme salutes, 999, 333. 340 plus 666, 660 equals 1,000,000,000,000. That meant, city's most affectionate in Shanghai had 1 billion dough coins, which was a cool 10 million in cash. Seriously? City's most affectionate in Shanghai must be rolling in dough to drop $1 million on Douyin. What did it even mean to have $1 million to blow on Douyin? Sure, you hear about people with hundreds of millions or even billions all the time, but that's mostly in stocks, real estate, etc. Plenty of people look like they're worth $1 billion, but they don't actually have 10 million in cash sitting around. Even rich guys with over $1 billion would think twice before dropping 10 million on Douyin. What am I seeing? A real-life whale. That's a lot of freaking numbers. This little streamer hit the jackpot. She found a baller in real life. Driving a multi-million-dollar Ferrari and dropping $1 million on Douyin, this guy's family has got to have tens of billions in assets, right? Little streamer, don't take things too slowly. After eating you have to service him well, you know it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss RNN. That's filthy rich. I'm so jealous of this life. The live stream, with over 50,000 viewers, exploded with comments and opinions. Looking at the balance of over 999 million dough coins, Yuanan looked scared. She said in a small voice, I'm kind of nervous. If she accidentally tapped the screen a few more times, she couldn't afford to pay him back. Don't worry, I'll show you how. Gu Wenqing pulled Yuanan in front of him, holding the phone in one hand and gently taking her hand in the other. Chapter 29 What to buy, I #039, am going to buy condoms. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Her hands were as soft and white as her voice. Gu Wenqing, catching her scent, squeezed her hand a few more times. Meanwhile, viewers' phones seemed to freeze, replaying the special effects of exploding gifts over and over. City's most affectionate just gifted cutest and a supreme salute x1. City's most affectionate just gifted cutest and a supreme salute x20. City's most affectionate just gifted cutest and a supreme salute x40. City's most affectionate just gifted cutest and an A. Supreme salute x66. City's most affectionate just gifted cutest and a supreme salute x100. Another 100 supreme salutes flooded the screen of cutest and rocketing her viewership to 20+. Yuanan was hooked on being a top streamer. Holy crap. Another 100 supreme salutes. Everybody shout it with me, affectionate big boss. No way. Number 130 in Shanghai just dropped over 130 million worth of gifts on an in-stream. The rich are on another level. This whale is insane. How many women could you get with 130 million? Someone save innocent Yuanan, both surprised and thrilled, exclaimed, everyone saw it. He grabbed my hand, I didn't do it myself. Then, she added, brother, you're not gonna ask for it back, are you? Gu Wenqing waved it off. Don't worry, that's chump change. 0.1 billion Douyin coins equals 100 million RMB. He could easily find someone to gift her 50 million RMB, but that was too much effort. His net worth was approaching 200 billion at least. He owned properties galore. 110 billion in the bank. A Ferrari LaFerrari and a Porsche Cayenne. 10 storefronts on Huaxi Street, an 8,000 square foot high-end restaurant, and 2 premier Shanghai movie theaters. An 80 million license plate. 80 billion worth of Huafeng real estate stock. His total assets easily exceeded 200 billion, 1 billion Douyin coins were nothing to him. Not worth the hassle of getting back 50 million, he didn't need the pocket change. To Gu Wenqing, 50 million was like finding a nickel on the sidewalk, not worth bending over for. Wow! That's chump change. This guy is loaded. We're clearly out of touch with the 1%. Yuanin was also shocked by this forced generosity. What did 200 supreme salutes even mean? Over 130 million renminbi. After the platform took its 60 to 70% cut, she'd still walk away with tens of millions. She'd never seen that kind of money in her life. To this modest sugar daddy, it was peanuts. Wow! My brother put 100 million into Douyin. 130 million is nothing, Yuanin simpered. She didn't realize how much she was sucking up. She was practically hugging Gu Wenqing's leg and calling him daddy. Alright, shut down the stream, Gu Wenqing said. I gifted you all that, no need to sing and dance as thanks. Just come with me to the mall. Okay, brother. I'll hang with you all night, Yuanin chirped, then killed the broadcast faster than lightning. 20+ viewers stared at a black screen, but the comments never stopped. Did she just end the stream? Holy crap. Where's he taking her? Lingerie, heels, condoms. Her innocence is toast. Drives a Ferrari, drops 100 million on Douyin, young, just tipped $1 million to an e-girl, would you say no? If he tipped me, I'd be on my knees. Beautiful and alive. Is it too late to transition? Gu Wenqing took two-dimensional in and back to Huaxi Street. The lights were blazing, and Huaxi Street, the busiest area, had everything: food, drinks, entertainment. Anything from cheap to expensive to luxury, was available on this massive commercial strip. Brother, what are we getting? Yuanin asked, curious. Gu Wenqing decided to tease this anime girl. Buying condoms. What's that? Yuanin asked, confused. Gu Wenqing smirked. Durex. Ah. Yuanin blanched. Brother, no way. I'm not that kind of girl. Seeing Yuanin's panicked face, Gu Wenqing realized she actually had standards, maybe, with more money. Gu Wenqing shook his head slightly. Why challenge a girl's morals with money? Everything has its price, right? But that felt sleazy. Gu Wenqing dismissed the thought, scoffing at his sudden wealth-induced arrogance. He needed to keep his head straight. More women were good, but he didn't just want their bodies. He wanted their affection. A woman with no feelings was just a puppet, no better than a zombie. Huh, just kidding. I want to buy a watch, Gu Wenqing chuckled. The saying went, the poor play cars, the rich play watches. Gu Wenqing wanted to buy one for fun. Oh, brother, you scared me half to death. Yuanin breathed, relieved. Gu Wenqing just stared. Sweetheart, you clearly didn't realize your own appeal. Giant, soft curves shifted with every step. Feeling Gu Wenqing staring at her behind sunglasses, Yuanin flushed, but didn't hate it. If it were anyone else, she'd probably be cursing them out as an old perv. But Yuanin was all about looks. She was shallow like that, even with sunglasses. It was obvious Gu Wenqing was good looking. After 10 minutes, Gu Wenqing found the luxury brand district. Guided by the signs, this whole mall was 7 stories of high-end brands, domestic and international. Did Gu Wenqing know anything about watches? Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, Richard Mille, he'd heard the names, but never really seen them. Chapter 30. The poor plays cars and the rich plays watches. Buy a watch for fun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, let's hit the mall. Gu Wenqing headed straight for the second floor, the luxury watch district. You could find stores for all the big names there: Vacheron Constantin, Audemars Piguet, Lang. Too bad there wasn't a Patek Philippe store on Huaxi Street. Gu Wenqing would have snagged one of those in a heartbeat. Why? Pure brand recognition and the sheer pretentiousness of it all, especially their famous ad, "You never actually own a Patek Philippe." You merely look after it for the next generation. Talk about a power statement, right? Way more upscale than bragging about leather seats. As Gu Wenqing approached the glass doors, a uniformed sales associate swung them open with a smile. Welcome to the Vacheron Constantin flagship store. The place was all sleek and fancy, with a subtle fragrance hanging in the air. A huge sign displayed Vacheron Constantin's motto: "You can own time, but you can't easily own Vacheron Constantin." Gu Wenqing was impressed. These high-end brands definitely know how to play the game. They can make even a so-so slogan sound super profound. I guess a fancy watch needs more than just history. You need a killer ad campaign to really sell the image. Sir, do you have an appointment? The sales associate asked. An appointment? You need an appointment to buy a watch. Gu Wenqing was thrown for a loop. He'd only ever heard of needing appointments for luxury cars. This was a first. Just then, a middle-aged guy strolled in. Wang's the name. Got an appointment for 5. He acted like he owned the place, obviously a regular. The saleswoman, Wenqing, who'd greeted Gu Wenqing, practically dropped him to rush over to the middle-aged dude. This guy was a repeat customer, known to drop serious cash on watches, like millions of dollars. Wenqing knew the score. $1 million watch meant a hefty commission, 5 or 6 grand easy. She wasn't about to pass that up. She wasn't dumb. Gu Wenqing was young. Even a rich kid was only likely to spend maybe 40 or 50 grand, tops. This middle-aged guy was in a whole different league. Easy choice for her. Gu Wenqing figured the guy had a sales appointment, so he and Yuan started browsing the Vacheron Constantin selection. Since it was his first time looking at high-end watches, Gu Wenqing was more interested in the aesthetics than the price tags. Yun, a brand new salesperson at Vacheron Constantin, probably still in her internship. She needed to make a sale within a month to ditch that intern title. If she didn't move a single watch during her internship, she'd be canned. These Vacheron Constantins cost tens of thousands, so it wasn't that easy to sell. Today was her last few days of internship. If she didn't sell a watch in those few days, she'd lose her job. Sir, what kind of watch are you looking for? Yunjing asked Gu Wenqing. Gu Wenqing said, expensive. Yunjing's face dropped. She couldn't hide her disappointment. In her experience, those kinds of people are just tire kickers, but, being professional, Yunjing led Gu Wenqing to the glass display case with the least expensive watches. It wasn't that she looked down on Gu Wenqing, it's just she thought Gu Wenqing was so young. Even if you want to buy a watch, you will definitely not buy one that is too expensive. Vacheron Constantin 25250/D01A 9123, priced at $88,000. Vacheron Constantin 25015/000G 9233, priced at $89,000. Vacheron Constantin 25093/000R 8741, priced at $93,000. Sir, these are very popular with young people. See if any of them catch your eye, Yunjing said with a smile. Whoa! These watches are seriously expensive, Yuan blurted out, surprised. Gu Wenqing frowned, looking at these Vacheron Constantins in the tens of thousands to range. These watches feel like not my cup of tea. With a net worth in the billions, he needed something a little more unique. Meanwhile, Wenqing was already closing the deal with the middle-aged customer. The guy bought a $1.5 million Vacheron Constantin. Wenqing sold the watch for more than $7,000. Wenqing gave Yunjing a smug grin. The newcomer is still too young to watch people order food. It doesn't look like I sold $3 million watches in 2 or 3 minutes, earning $150 easily, especially when Yuan said that Vacheron Constantin was expensive for tens of thousands of yuan. And Gu Wenqing frowned. She wanted to laugh. Tens of thousands, 10,000 plus Vacheron Constantin are considered expensive, so wouldn't the 150 million that I just sold be too expensive? Thinking of this, she was even less optimistic about Gu Wenqing's ability to buy a watch. Sir, are these Vacheron Constantins not to your liking? Yunjing asked gently. Too subtle. Not really my style, Gu Wenqing said with a nod. Then he added. Don't worry about the price tag. If it looks good and has some personality, I don't mind splurging. Gu Wenqing knew the young salesperson was just trying to be considerate, figuring he couldn't afford anything too extravagant. He appreciated the thought, but he wasn't feeling these cheaper models. The clothes the system provided were custom-made for the British royal family, with a price tag of over $500,000, with over $2 billion in assets, a multi-million-dollar car, and a $500,000 suit. Wearing a watch that cost tens of thousands just wouldn't cut it. Hearing this, Yun Jing started leading Gu Wenqing from case to case. Sir, this Vacheron Constantin 30110/000P 9999 is priced at $2,660,000. It's made of platinum, and it's a favorite among Chinese watch collectors. Great investment piece, Yun Jing explained. Hearing that a watch cost more than 2 million yuan, Yuanan was completely stunned, which is equivalent to bringing a set of watches in his hand, so terrifying. Gu Wenqing shook his head. Too old school. Then how about this Vacheron Constantin Horse 30682/S21G 9477? It's $6,100,000, platinum with diamonds. Yun Jing picked out a younger-looking model. The look is pretty good. Let's see what else you've got, Gu Wenqing said. Gu Wenqing was pretty impressed with this Vacheron Constantin Horse 30682/S21G 9477. If nothing else catches his eye, he will just take it.